Okay, so we're going to take a roll call, and if you are on the staff or a board member, if you would please introduce yourself and what your position is. We'll go around the room so our audience knows who's speaking if they are speaking, and we can start down here.
I'm Aaron Frederick of the Turner Community Library.
Sam Moore, the Assistant Director for Kansas City, Kansas Public Libraries.
Carol Rivas, Executive Director of all the.
Greg Todd, board member representing Piper.
Commissioner in District 2 and representing USD 500.
I'm Jack Bennett, the director of the Bonner Springs Library.
I'm Judy Anderson.
Mickey Welcome Hill on Zoom, board member.
Joe Kahar appointed by Mayor Garner.
Corey Hall, District 1, appointed by Gail Townsend.
Go ahead. Corey, you can go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Corey Hall, District 1, appointed by Gail Townsend.
Let me turn mine up.
Rocky Mays, appointed by Commissioner Burrows, representing USD 202.
I'm Erica Simpson. I'm appointed by Commissioner Kane, representing USD 203 Piper.
I'm Reginald Lindsay. I'm part of Unified Government Staff and I'm Budget Director.
I'm Adriana Lendefar. I'm also UG staff and I'm a budget analyst.
Have anybody else online?
You have your user, Debbie, and Jackie.
Somebody else online? Okay.
Yeah. Melanie Schwarzkopf, appointed by Andrew Davis, representing Edwardsville.
And Debbie Johnsher, Unified Government Chief Financial Officer, Interim Chief Financial Officer. Nikki Hills. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So we have.
Hold on, I'll turn my.
All right, so we have all 11 members of the board here today. The purpose of the meeting today is to set our mill rate. And so we will be discussing that. The library board here that you guys are witnessing is the board that represents the Piper, Edwardsville, and Turner residents. So those are the residents who will be affected by this mill rate. The current mill rate is at 6.12 mills right now, which brought in approximately $4.2 million last year. That amount of money was over $500,000 than the year before. The maximum amount Um, so the mill rate stayed the same as last year. It brought in approximately $500,000 more. If we choose to remain revenue neutral today, then we will not exceed 5.44 mils. So if we go above 5.44 mils today, we will be raising taxes to the residents of Edwardsville, Piper, and Turner. So the directors that are here today, they've asked us to give them a 3% increase from last year to this year, which is approximately $128,000. With the increases that this board has approved in the last year, the year before, we would easily be able to keep our revenue the same and pay the library directors the extra 3% for their staffing that they requested. And we would still have over $2 million in our general fund. So we would fully be able to meet the director's request, keep the libraries with the healthy general fund, and not increase the tax burden on our residents. So what we're going to do today is we're going to open up a public hearing. If you wish to speak on that about the taxes, if anything is above 5.44 mils, your taxes will go up compared to last year. We have set the maximum mill rate at 6.12, so we cannot exceed that today. So anywhere under 6.12 mils is what we can set the mills at today. So if you're here for any of the other taxing entities, this is only the library board, the only for the Piper, Edwardsville, Turner residents. It only affects them. It's the 6.12 mils equivalent of your tax bill. So if you have something that you would like to say for public comment, we're going to be opening that part of the meeting in a moment. And so that's, if you're here for that, that's what we're doing today. And so that moves us to the business part of the meeting. And then I would consider a motion for opening the public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Mickey Welcome Hill, I'll second that motion.
I believe Mickey Hill seconded the motion online. So we have a motion and a second. Now I'm going to take a roll call vote.
Aye.
Susan? She there? Mickey?
Aye.
Erica?
Aye.
Jim? Judy?
Aye.
Melanie?
Aye.
Me? Aye. So we're going to open the public hearing. So we're going to keep time of 3 minutes to each speaker. And then once you get to about 30 seconds, we'll kind of give you a little wave, let you know that your time's getting ready to expire. And then if you just want to go ahead and give your public comments this time, we'll listen to them. Yes, so please step to the podium if you have something that you wish for us to hear today.
The participant is muted. The participant is muted.
Here. I gotta do that again. Should I start from the top? Do I get my 3 minutes again? Okay. So hi, guys. My name's Danetta Pappard. I live at 9610 Georgia Avenue, for those of you that didn't hear me the first time. My question was, do we have 11 members on this board? There was a yes to that. And then the question was, do we have 5 members on this board that will not be impacted by this vote? So they have the opportunity to vote to raise my taxes, but they won't be impacted by that. And for me, that's this little thing called taxation without representation. And I know a country that had a really big issue when things like that started happening. So I think that's a big issue. The other issue that I have is everyone in this community is dealing with increases in their property taxes, increases in housing, the cost of a vehicle. Your regular family that is going to the grocery store is spending 20 to 30% more on items at this point in time. I could tell you why I know that, but I only have 3 minutes. The cost of secondary education, the cost of insurance, the cost of gas, the cost to clothe your children, everything keeps increasing, and we're not seeing anyone buckle down. Families, households have to buckle down. They have to figure out how to make it work. But our government keeps wanting to just have an open checkbook and ask for more money and more money. When things are tight, when things are rough, we have to buckle down and make it work, see where we can cut something so that we can make sure we take care of the lovely people that run our libraries, which we're so appreciative of. My other issue is most libraries aren't situated in a place and aren't utilized by all the people that are being taxed. We're the furthest from those libraries. If you want to increase, if you need to cover a cost, let's start charging for a library card. You know, we have sponsorships. If the income isn't something that we can cover, there are sponsorships. We have $2 million in the general fund, I believe is what Mr. Kahar said. If this doesn't pass, guys, I think we can make that work. I know at home, I have to balance a checkbook. I have to cut back. I have to do what I have to do to make ends meet. And you can just blindly ask people to keep opening up their wallets for things. And there's no accountability. They're not seeing what their money's going for. That's why you're seeing such a frustration in your communities. Everyone is taxed to death. Everyone is getting hit left and right. People's 401ks are falling, their retirement. People have real problems that they're worried about. We need to tighten down as a community. We need to see what we can do and look at other ways than just raising more taxes. Thank you. Yeah.
Do we have anybody else wishing to speak?
I'm Pat Petty. I live at 5316 Lakewood Street and in the Turner School District. I had the privilege of being on this library board for a number of years, and I appreciated that opportunity. I just want to use an example of the fact that about 3 weeks ago, I was at a meeting. I had a meeting at the Wyandotte Cafe, and there was a group from there, and they were doing an art project, and it was sponsored by the Turner Library. And they were doing an activity that I actually had done a similar thing at a bar a few years ago, where I paid like $75, and they were getting the opportunity to participate in this kind of activity with no cost at all because it was being provided to our community members through our libraries. You know, our libraries are a window to the world and they're open to everybody. And it's concerning to me when we don't value them and see them how important they are. For example, I like to listen to books on tape. And so I'm able to get a book on tape through my library, through the Kansas City, Kansas library for nothing. And I have it for 3 weeks and then I can, you know, then I don't have access to it again, or I can check it out again. Or my favorite, I like Kenny Chesney, so I can get his CDs through my library as well. Or I could buy them, the CD for $19.99, or that book, which I did at one time, was on Amazon for $14.95 a month. And then I thought, why am I paying $14.95 a month when I can actually access these books that I want to enjoy through my library, that my taxes and your taxes help to pay for, and that they provide so many services for all of us. This board is made up, of course, of 11 members representing everybody that is a unified government commissioner and the mayor that was set in place in 1997. And actually those who live in Kansas City, Kansas, not in the PET district, are actually paying more for library services than we in the PET districts are and have been for a long time and will continue. So their taxes are at work. And our taxes are helping to provide those services for us in the PET district. So we get the opportunity to enjoy all the services in all the Kansas City, Kansas libraries and the Turner Library and in Bonner. That's why Bonner is sitting here, because we provide funding to the Bonner Library as well. And also, as some of you know, there's now an opportunity that Piper is looking at for expansion of a library there, which is what the reserves would help pay for. So I'm not standing here to say I support the budget and I would encourage the board to pass it.
Cheryl Yates, and I live at 4525 North 108th Street. And I appreciate everything Danetta said, and Pat, she did admit that there are some great services at the library. Just before I left my office, I saw that the dollar compared with the US Canadian dollar was sitting at $1 to $1.34 Canadian money. And I think that that should be a wake-up call to all who are responsible for our taxes. I asked at the last meeting that was held about audits, if this committee, this board, who makes decisions on whether to raise taxes or lower them, had really any knowledge of those. And a lot of dumbfounded looks, quite frankly, came my way. And I think if this board is going to raise taxes or have this discussion, they should be privy to all of that information, not just what those commissioners want you to do, because many times they don't listen either. So I agree, taxation without representation is an awkward subject. We all pull in our spending when things are tough. And as pointed out, there's a Piper School Board meeting last week. They came up with a 24% inflation rate. How can you continue this spending without pulling in? Thanks.
A little different being on this side. Chuck Stites, 44 South 98th Street, Edwardsville resident. And first of all, thing I want to say is, if y'all happen to watch last Thursday's meeting at the UG, you see that taxes were raised again. We're continuing to raise, that board is continuing to raise taxes. I'm a resident of Edwards, so I'm speaking as a resident, right? We continue. People are hurting out there. And if I'm not mistaken, by staying revenue neutral, there's no services that are going to be cut. The directors are still going to get their 3% that they've asked for. We're just going to take a little bit of money out of the fund balance. That's tightening up your belt. I don't know that we can afford not to stay revenue neutral because we're taxing people out of being able to live in Wyandotte County. As far as accessibility, people from Edwardsville are not going to Kansas City, Kansas libraries. They're not going to Turner. They're going to Bonner. People from Piper are not going to Kansas City, Kansas libraries. Few of them may visit Bonner, I guess. But we cannot continue to just think that this accessibility is out there for all, because it's not. We're taxing people over Piper, Edwardsville, Bonner Springs, and Turner. And people that don't even, the board members that are just like was reflected earlier, it's not going to affect them. It's going to affect the people in that pet district. Piper, Edwardsville, Turner. So if we're going to do the right thing, in my opinion, we got to hold tight and let's reevaluate this again next year. You're still going to have $2 million sitting in the fund balance, and do the responsible thing, as we are all trying to do the responsible thing and keeping our taxes at a minimum. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Carolyn Kahar. I come before you as a resident of Edwardsville and the mayor of Edwardsville, so speaking on behalf of the people who are hurting in our part of Wyandotte County. I've listened to the July meeting multiple times. Without a doubt, this board passed 5-4 a motion not to exceed revenue neutral. Because of inaccurate advice, held another vote later that reversed the same 5-4 vote. Why a motion was considered passed and the other was not at this meeting makes no procedural sense. According to the Attorney General of Kansas, in a ruling as recent as 2 weeks ago, there are certain procedures that must be met exactly for a taxing entity to raise taxes above the amount taxed the year before. If these procedures are not clearly followed, the taxing entity will be required from the state to refund any amount taxed over the revenue neutral rate. There are many reasons to avoid raising taxes on the residents of Piper, Edwardsville, and Turner. One is to avoid scrutiny from the AG's office and a possible refund to taxpayers, which would cost this board even more money. Another, and a more pressing reason, is people in Wyandotte County are hurting. They are being taxed out of their homes. Please vote not to add to the tax burden of Wyandotte County residents who are already hurting. Additionally, please consider abstaining from this vote if you do not live in Piper, Edwardsville, or Turner, as you would not be impacted by the taxes levied by this board. Please remember, a revenue neutral vote does not cut the library revenue. It simply does not add more to the heavy tax burden additional to the 15% increase this board added last year to the 2023 budget. Thank you. My name's Camila Adcox. I live at 1520 South 104th in Edwardsville, Kansas. I don't want to take a lot of your time, but I do want to echo what a lot of the people here are saying, is I don't think that it's a time to tax everybody more. There's a lot of people that are hurting. I work a lot at Harvesters food drives, and that line grows larger every other month, and it's record numbers right now. And there's older people that are coming more through the line saying that they're hurting, that especially when they live in Wyandotte County, they're saying that they have no choice but to come through the food line. They have no hope. And then there's people that are able to maybe move, and they're thinking about moving out of Wyandotte County. You are literally forcing people out of Wyandotte County.
I think that if you think it's imperative to have programs where people can come and do crafts and do stuff like that, maybe donate your own money. I mean, if you think that it's that important or that they're going to miss that opportunity, volunteer, donate your own money. I mean, if that's something that you feel strongly about, I think that you should, but I don't think that you should use our money to do so. I think that it was clear that the budget you can continue on that budget without raising our taxes. And I think you should really think about that, because these are families that are hurting. These are people that are not able to put food on their table. They're making it paycheck to paycheck and not even paycheck to paycheck. So I'm just asking you to consider that. Think about the community, people that are hurting, the older people that can't even work to make more income and are stuck. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Mary Jean Grindle, 3419 Gibbs Road, Kansas City, Kansas in Turner. And I had the privilege of being on the library board for 5 years, from 2000 to 2005. I looked it up last night. I enjoyed it. It's a wonderful group. Thank you for all that you do. I'm very proud of our Turner library that we have. Oh my gosh, for 1,700 square feet, they have over 10,000 items in there, and they are working with the community. Even when there was COVID, they continued, you know, kids were home, and parents, grandparents were reaching out. How can we help? So, you know, I'm so appreciative of our Turner Library. That being said, and I don't want to repeat everything else that's been said, but I was there at the UG meeting last Thursday night when the big vote was taken. Very disappointing. I wish there were more people there, but then people don't, you know, they say and they think, what's the use? I'm on Stand Up Kansas City, Kansas, Wyandotte County, which is a group of poor, I guess, residents. Two of the ladies that are also on that in that group said they can no longer pay their taxes. They are relying on their kids, and in one case even grandkids, to make their payments. They're just at their wits' end. They don't know what to do. And one especially was crying, you know. I'm for maintaining, you know, I don't want to see any services cut for sure for the libraries. I'm very appreciative. And I think maybe this is the year to kind of hold our own, if at all possible. It sounds like it is. And then reevaluate next year. But, you know, thank you so much for all you do. And that's, you know, I'm just hoping you consider all of that. We are appreciative, but our pockets are thin. So thank you very much.
I'm Dwayne Beth. My address 1825 North 126. Those of you that already know me know I tell you what I'm feeling, and we're actually being taxed out of our homes. Every place in the surrounding areas, including our neighbors to the north, voted to not exceed the revenue neutral rate. Every place here, including the UG, just last Thursday voted to exceed that when they had a choice of two different budgets. They chose the one that raised taxes. It's unacceptable. You have a choice to hold the line, which actually, if I read everything correctly, is not going to change anything. It's going to keep every service that you're already providing the same, and including with the 3% raise, which none of us got last year. The other option is to raise taxes. Now, I heard of Piper Library. I haven't talked to anybody in Piper that wants a library. People I've heard from that don't live in Piper. I just got hit with a bond issue. My taxes right now in Piper exceed what my house payment was, including utilities. I'm about one more appraisal from being homeless. I spent 30 years on this police department defending people in the streets. I passed up 3 promotions to stay in the streets. I'm one appraisal away from living in the streets if you guys keep raising taxes. And I will fight to keep revenue neutral, because revenue neutral law was passed for a reason. And so you can't say we had to raise taxes because the state raised taxes or they're making us do it. It means you have to take this hard vote. You have to publicly vote. You have to vote your conscience right now. Am I going to raise taxes or not? You have no one else to blame except people sitting on his chairs right now. You can't blame the governor. You can't blame the state. You can't blame anything. You have this choice in your hands. It's your decision. You're held accountable for it. And you will be held accountable. We have people right now that are angry. They're taxed beyond belief. The reason they didn't show up for the meeting was because last Thursday was because they think their voice don't matter. They are conditioned to think no matter what we do, they're going to do what they want anyway. I sit at the commission meeting and watch commissioners not make eye contact intentionally because they already knew how they were going to vote. Next November, I know how I'm going to vote. And the next November, I know how I'm going to vote. Thank you.
Okay. That's going to end our. Okay, so that's going to end our. Well, we need a motion actually to consider to close the public hearing if there's nobody else that wishes to speak.
Rocky May, so motioned.
Mickey,
Okay,
welcome.
we have a
Bill.
motion, a second.
Second.
For the ease of the meeting, I'm just going to say all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 4 on the agenda is consider a motion to set the mill rate. And so this time we're going to discuss as a board and have if somebody's going to set a motion or recommend a motion, and we'll have discussion on what we want to do for this mill rate.
This is Rocky Mays, and I motion to have the mill rate set at 5.444, which is remaining revenue neutral.
Okay, so we have a motion to set the mill rate at 5.44, and it was seconded. And so this time I want to enter into discussion if anybody has anything they would like to. Jim seconded that. So if there's anybody that wants to discuss that, this is the time to do so.
Can you hear me now? So as I respect and I hear everything that you all are saying, I do want to point out stating that Pet District actually pays 6%, whereas USD 500 pays 12%. So Pet District is receiving the same services that USD 500 is receiving for half the cost. I understand that. I understand that there's not something in area for you to get to be accessible to easily. The library tries to fix those problems. They have all those mobile libraries that come in your areas and things like that. So it's not that the library is not trying to provide you all the free amenities that everyone gets. If you choose not to take advantage of the free amenities, that's not the fault of the library. There's mobile buses that park in parking lots near your areas. And the mill rate, if we was to raise it, if I'm correct, I don't know, maybe you could, wasn't it where it would just be like $1? It wasn't even that much. It would show the dollar amount of the raise would be $13. So $13. That was it. I mean, I know that shouldn't be a word of that is it, but I mean, that's what we're talking about. We're literally talking about $13. I understand that. I understand that. And if we was to go through this even next year, I understand the part of let's pull back the rails and take a break this year. Next year is going to be the same thing. All of us live in America. All of us have seen this in and out of the recession for the last 20 years. And the debt ceiling going up and up and up, and us just we've seen that. So it's not going to stop. We all know that. Let's be real and 100 with everything. So when Piper comes next year and says, we have the building and we want this library and the money that's sitting in the reserve is not enough, then what's going to happen? Are we going to hear complaints that, well, the library board is not doing their job? We said we wanted a library, because it's not going to cost, it's going to cost more next year to open up that library. That's fine. Yeah. So that's just what I wanted to say. Thank you.
This is Mickey Welcome Hill. Can everyone hear me okay?
Right. Can you hear me?
Go ahead, Jody. I'll wait.
Mickey, you need to stop for a minute talking. Stop talking, Mickey.
Mickey can talk first.
Jody, be my guest, please.
Should mute it now. Okay, go ahead.
First of all, with all due respect to everyone who's spoken, first of all, can everyone hear me okay? Thank you.
Not anymore.
I thought I did.
Sorry for my appearance today, but I am at home very sick, and that should tell you how important this matter is for me to be here. First of all, I would say that I echo Board Member Hall's statements that we in USD 500 are not an entity that is doing taxation without representation as suggested, as we already pay double the amount of those in the pet district for the same services that they receive. Secondly, I agree, we have a building and the resources to open up a library for Piper, which is the largest in the pet district and the largest paying entity in the pet district. But it won't do any good if we open that library and do not have funds to support the use of that library after the fact. And that is the problem with revenue neutral. Third, I find it extremely offensive that a member of the elected community would essentially threaten this board with legal recourse if we do not go ahead and agree to remain revenue neutral. It was slanderous, and shame on you. Shame on you. That is not what Wyandotte County wants in their elected officials by any means. And that is all I have to say.
So if everybody in the audience just remain quiet, please, if you can. We do have to conduct this meeting, so just please refrain from making comments. There'll be plenty of time to, after the meeting, to discuss any opinions or anything. So just try to refrain from making comments. If you have a comment, you can step out all the way and talk about it. It's fine. Please no more interruptions during the meeting. Okay.
Mr. Chair.
I'm sorry. Jody has something she would like to say.
I'd like for the record to say that this is a county library board under state statute. It's called the Wyandotte County Library Board. And it is for the whole county, but it was the Piper, Edwardsville, and Turner were selected out because they did not otherwise pay a tax levy for libraries, whereas USD 500 pays and citizens of Bonner Springs pay. And so it is still the whole county. And those of us who don't live in the pet area were put on this board. The board was established by the Unified Government Commission and to represent all the areas of the county. But they could only tax those areas that weren't already paying a tax. So even though I don't live in the pet district, the point is that they should pay a price for library services because they weren't otherwise. USD 500 and Bonner Springs residents did pay another tax levy. And it isn't exactly equal in every area, but I don't think because we don't live in the pet area that it is unfair of us for us to vote, but it's the way it's set up. So whether you think it's unfair, you have to take it to the county commission who set it up according to a state statute. And we pay the libraries that do run libraries because it was too expensive for the county to build a county library for the pet district. So they contract with the two existing libraries, USD 500 and Bonner Springs, to provide those services to people in the pet area. And of course, you may not think it's a fair way to do it, but that is the way it is. And we're not usurping any right to tax the pet area. That was the way it was set up. As part of it was compromised. And it was to get service to those areas and to make it as equitable as possible. Of course, not everybody can be happy in anything that's set up. But I think the Bonner Springs and the Kansas City, Kansas Public Library are making a good effort to provide services, but they deserve to be compensated for that. And so they are, at our direction, they provide services for the taxes that we set here and raise through the mill levy that we are authorized to enact.
Mr.
Okay,
Chair,
so-
may I
Oh,
speak,
sorry.
please? I represent Piper and was appointed by Commissioner Kane. And one of my goals since I started teaching and living in Piper over 30 years ago was my dream was as a reading teacher to have a library that my kids could access, that my kids could walk to. And now my children are all grown and they've never had that, but I have my school children who can still do that. And one of the reasons that I'm speaking about this today is because I want to highlight a couple of things. I know that we are being taxed to death. We are. I have my tax bill right here. I can attest to you. And just like, I think it was Dwayne who said his house payment has doubled. So has mine. But I can tell this, that my amount that I paid for the entire year to the public library for my home was only $245. And this exceeding revenue neutral will make me pay $2.68 more. But what we will get out of it in Piper is we will get a library, a branch for our community. Our school district has done a bond issue. We do have the space now, and we have a building that's going to be available as early as fall of 2024. Now, the proposal that is being drafted by the Piper School Board and by our district is actually in the drafting process. The estimated cost based on our July 11th meeting for a library branch for Piper is approximately 1.5 million minimum. Our current fund balance that we have is 2 million. That would allow us to open up a branch, but then not necessarily be able to fund it. Now, the budgeting for our current and expanded library services would probably necessitate an increase in funding somehow. Now, according to County Administrator Johnston, he referenced GASB, which is the Governmental Accounting Standards Board. They recommend a minimum of 16.9% in your reserves. That's approximately what we have. The other thing that I wanted to share with you is that at the UG budget meeting on August 21st of 2023, Mayor Gardner praised the Kansas City, Kansas Community College proposed budget increase at less than 1 mil. Our increase is 0.012. So with that being said, I paid $245 last year in taxes to help the library services that I enjoyed and that I used. But it's not just checking out books, which is what I've heard members of this board say. How can we justify funding libraries when they only check out X number of books? Our children don't just check out books. They come here for information. Our citizens come here to gain citizenship. They take classes here. I've taken classes here. We have organizations that meet here. This is a meeting place. We're all here because we've paid taxes for this facility. We're all enjoying the nice, cool air conditioning in here because of the money that we pay. We all pay it. But I will also say that for the entire year, with our increase in budget, I will only pay $2.68 more per month. I think most of what you are directing your anger and frustration at is not these people. It is not this library board who's trying to make sure that our kids have early literacy and that our middle school kids can walk over here and have after school homework help. It's not that. What we're asking for these people to be able to do is to help provide a library for every part of the community that's paying taxes for it, which has been mentioned. We're all paying these taxes. We want a library that represents us. Now, Edwardsville has said they don't want one. I've heard it from people on this board, but Piper does. Piper does. So what I would say is that if we're going to look forward and we're continuing to grow, we've had double-digit growth. We are currently pushing 30,000 people. Turner got their library back in 2007, I believe. And they didn't have the double-digit growth that we're having. So it is time for us to consider if we use our reserve budget, which is what it's been there for. We've been setting aside a little bit every year for those of us who've been on this board. We've been setting aside a little bit every year because we knew the time was going to come that parts of our pet district were going to grow to such an extent that they were going to need a library. And that's where we are now. Unfortunately, it coincides with a very difficult budget time. It coincides with us having to pay much more at the grocery store. And when I volunteer at Harvesters, I'm seeing the same people too. I am. And I'm up there too. But I know that when we're talking about this tax bill that we all got, the 3,500 I'm paying and the 12,000 I'm paying, and my assessed value going up $8,000 on my house in 1 year. You can't talk right now. My point is this, that's not where your frustration is. The $2.68 that we're asking for a $350,000 house, that's not the people that are going to the Harvesters. The people that are going to the Harvesters are paying less than that. So please keep in mind that what we're trying to do is we're trying to provide services for the entire community. And that's what we are here to do. We're not to monitor the rest of the taxing entities because there are several. I think that covers everything that, oh, one more thing. Our impact on this library board is over 170,000 people. And our community college, who intends to raise their praised less than $1 mil increase, mine is going to go up $114. And that impact is only 3,500 to 7,000 people. That's all I have to say. And right up.
Okay, so I just have a comment I'd like to make, and some of the things that were said. So I keep hearing that there's a couple people on this board talking about we're paying half of what KCK is paying. I know that the average person in KCK, not the average KCK, but the average Piper, Edwardsville, Turner resident is paying over $5,000 a year in taxes on their house. I know that there's people on this board that pay less than $2,500 a year on their house. So we're coming from different areas. We're feeling like we're paying a lot more taxes when the people in Piper, Edwardsville, and Turner are getting hit with over $5,000 a year on the property tax. And so to say that it doesn't matter because we're paying half, we're actually paying double. So those numbers are kind of misleading. For the library board, if I am all in favor of a library in Piper, if that's what the residents want, I think the kids should have a local amenity that they can use. I don't think they should have to drive all the way here to this library to use this one. It is a great resource. It's a place that can cool off in the summertime. It's a place that can stay warm in the wintertime. There's resources. There's opportunities for people looking for jobs to use the computers and get online. But I also know that if Piper opens their own library, less funding will come to KCK and that money will shift. Because Piper residents will not be using the same amount of services from KCK. We will shift money to Piper because there's 13,000 as the last census, there's 13,851 residents in Piper. If that many residents are using the Piper library, then 80% of the funding right now would not be going to KCK. We can shift that money and send it to Piper where it belongs if there's a library there. Right now, KCK gets 80% of the overall allocations. Bonner Springs gets 7.5%, and Turner gets 12.5%. So if we're gonna open a Piper library, then I believe those percentages will shift and change. So we have money right now that's in our reserves that we can use to assist in opening the Piper library. Then, as a board, we shift finances to accommodate Piper after every year. Just because a Piper library opens, if it does open, doesn't necessarily mean that we're gonna have to raise another whatever percentage that would be, if another $1 million a year. I would hope, shift the money, because what this taxing board does is we are paying for a service. And so if there is a library in Piper, those Piper residents are no longer needing the service of KCK, they have their own. And the questions I have is, for the Turner Library, do you charge KCK residents to use your library, or can they use it for free? I think they can use it for free. We're not charging, the Turner residents aren't charging KCK residents to use their amenities. And so when Piper opens their library, they're not going to charge KCK residents to use their library. So if the Piper library is the argument, if that's what we're talking about, when that opens, we as a board will most likely reallocate the funds and distribute them separately in a different way than it is now, because the resources that are being used by Piper residents in KCK won't be being used as much as they are now. And it's kind of a double standard for if KCK is going to have a library tax for the people who aren't paying the tax on Piper residents and Turner residents, yet they're not going to charge a tax to Wyandotte to KCK residents for using their library. I'm going to take a break from that. If somebody else wants to make a argument, they can.
Point of clarification, Mr. Chairman. According to our statistics, it's actually 27,500 in Piper Prairie, Kansas. The other thing that I wanted to also say is that if you're planning on allocation as part of our funding formula, if you discover that it's actually growth instead of reallocation, what would be your plan then?
So I do not have a plan for the allocation of the money today. I'm hoping that November we can allocate the money with the most recent numbers that we have, as far as the circulation figures that we have. I think that we should, as a board, revisit the numbers to see if we are up to date on the current circulation, and to make sure that the allocation of funds is up to date with what is currently happening within our libraries. I know that those are the percentages that I have right now. As KCK's 80% of allocations, Bonner Springs is 7.5, Turner's 12.5. I think as a board, we should visit that every year to stay up on with the growth. So when Piper has the growth that it has, because I do believe that it will continue to grow at a high rate, and their allocation portion should move up. But we also need to see who's using these resources. And so we need to be fair to the people that are paying this tax. If people are not using the resources, they shouldn't be being taxed for these resources. If the Piper Library is a huge success and we have a lot of people going there from Bonner Springs or Turner, then maybe the allocation needs to reflect that. But those are all numbers that we will have to look at as a board every year.
Did you just say that if we don't use them, we shouldn't have to pay for them?
Yes, he did.
Yes, I did. But I mean, I'm going to say KCK, if they come to Piper, they're not paying for them. If they go to Turner, they're not paying for them. They're
I don't
getting
drive
a
on
free
Hubbard
resource.
Road, but I still pay taxes for the street repairs.
It's part of our responsibility.
Okay, I have something to say. Okay, if we stay revenue neutral, we will still add. I said, if we stay revenue neutral, we are still going to add, I believe, $90,000+ to our revenues. if we do not go revenue neutral, we're going to add an additional $600,000 to our revenues. And as a member of this board, we are supposed to set the budget of money that we need for the current year. We do not need just $600,000 for this current year. And I believe that by voting for this, yes, this is really not part of what we should be doing. We should be voting what we need on a year-to-year basis. Thank you.
This is Mickey Welcome Hill.
Trying to speak.
As Jody is most familiar with our charter, I would like to hear her.
Can you mute yourself? No. Can you mute yourself?
You need to turn it down.
Or, because I can't hear Mickey if she's speaking.
Lisa, give me a thumbs up.
Oh. Mickey, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can. Okay, you've got the floor.
I would direct the question to Jody, who knows our charter better than anyone in this room, with the exception of maybe Pat Petty. We should clarify for those in the audience this concept of reallocating funds just to Piper and what our authority is for that. As we set the mill levy, I do not believe we set allocations necessarily, and I would like a clarification from that from either Jody or from Pat Petty, please.
I think that Jeff, I want to defer to Jeff because I used to be legal counsel for this board. Now I'm a member of the board, but Jeff is our legal counsel.
Yeah, let's just mute this.
Let's put it in here. It should be.
I'm gonna get feedback.
Okay. So I could fill in some gaps with respect to the charter. There's nothing in it specifically that talks about specific allocations. In the past, we have we followed up after setting the mill levy. Then we've had some individual resolutions that set forth how the money is allocated amongst the system. So I'm not, Nikki, were you talking about that?
Yes, Jeff, I was, because we have limited abilities within our board to make specific allocations, is my understanding of our charter.
She's doing.
You can just press this button right here.
Yeah.
But then they have to mute their. But that's, his won't mute for some reason. I think he wanted to speak. Who's going to speak now?
Can you repeat her question? I didn't hear it.
Mickey, can you repeat your question, please?
Yes, I was asking about the concept of our ability as a board, which is a taxing authority, what we have actually the ability to do in allocations, which I believe is very limited. And I'd like clarification on that so that there is no misunderstanding.
So Mickey, with respect to your question, that type of detail is not in the charter. And then it also allows some latitude within the bylaws. So that there is a little bit of language in the bylaws.
So in Article 5, Section E, the board shall vote annually on the budget and allocation of funds. The board may amend the allocation at any time. Then it says the treasurer shall notify the Unified Government Director of Revenue of such board action and shall direct the Director of Revenue how to disperse library fund monies. So one question is if we exceed revenue neutral today, this might be for Reggie. What would our fund balance be at? What would our reserves be at if we maximize, if we take 6.12%?
2%.
Neutral. If we vote to exceed versus if we don't.
If we exceed revenue neutral, what would be our fund balance? Is that what you're asking?
We set the mill rate at we set the mill rate at 6.12.
Oh, it'll be $2.7 million. 67%.
And so the average, so typically like the typical reserve is it close to 15 to 25% on most boards or most taxing entities?
With the unified government, our goal is to be at 25%. That is the highest level, and then our floor is to be at 17%.
And so I know with the unified government, there's things that happen. There's gas increases, there's roads that need repaired. There's a lot of things like that. I know that we talked about some of the different costs that are going up on the library, as far as like the hoopla cost and things like that, the different technology that they're using. There is a increase in some of that. But 62% seems like a very high percent to have on a board that cannot own its own buildings. We don't have roofs to repair. We don't have maintenance. We're not paying gas. We're just kind of chipping in, helping out for our use of the library.
So I want to make sure I'm understanding your words. Because what you just stated was for you want to pay for your chip of the use of the library, right? And that's what you just said. I want to make sure I'm understanding your words. So you feel that the pet district should only pay for a chip of their use, meaning I guess we should take clicks at the door to see who comes in, to see who uses the library, and charge them for the chip
Of those who come to the library,
right?
So what I think that we need as a library board, we have a library board because there's part of the community, the Piper, Edwardsville, and Turner residents were using resources that they weren't paying into. And so we're supposed to pay our fair share to help out, to assist with the libraries, the Bonner Springs and the KCK libraries. And so us paying our fair share, whatever that looks like, I'm not saying it would be per checkout or per item. I'm just saying that what we have to do is make sure that the percentages we're paying, and as a Edwardsville citizen and resident, these numbers are not a fair share. If I spoke with the county the city manager before, he said we can operate a library in our city for half of what we're paying to borrow other people's items and resources, which would be great for me as a resident there because I could pay 3 mills into my city instead of 6.12 that I'm currently paying and have a resource in my neighborhood that the kids can use that I can go to and save gas, and most people will be within walking distance of it. We could do this for 3 mills. And so as a resident and representative of Wyandotte County, I have to ask the question, why am I paying 6 mills as a resident for something that I could be doing or getting for 3 mills? And so we just have to ask the questions. We're a taxing entity. The hard thing is to raise taxes again. I wasn't at the budget meeting last year, and it's my understanding that the maximum amount, 14.9% of the property valuation, the home evaluation went up 14.9%, and this board took all 14.9%. They took the maximum because they wanted cushion in the revenue. And I spoke to Jim about that, and he said, hey, we did this last year, and we did it so we would have cushion. And we have cushion now. And so we did that. We took that maximum amount. We took the 14.9% increase without a justification. The library didn't come to us saying, we need 14.9% more for these services, or we're not creating these services. It was to put money in there potentially for the future use of the library, which we have now. And so the hard thing that I'm looking at is the directors asked us for the 3% increase. We can accommodate that. I think that's equivalent to $128,798 or something like that. We can accommodate that. Our revenue fund could take that dip. If we remain revenue neutral, you still have that huge increase you took last year that will be adding in to the balance and to our fund balance. If we have to take money out for Piper, we'd still be in good shape this year. Several of the residents spoke saying, hey, it's time to tighten up the belts. We're hurting. I understand it might be $15 and that might not be a big deal to somebody, but there's other people that it is a big deal to. There's 151 properties just got sold in a tax sale. Thankfully, it wasn't one of mine. I don't know if anybody has a relative in here that it was getting sold to, but for us to raise the taxes so we can put it in our savings account is wrong. When there's that many people hurting, when there's that many people, we had 170 cars waiting in line for probably 2 hours to get a couple bags of groceries. If we need this money next year, let's look at this next year. The timing is off. Piper should get its own library if that's what they want. We can help out with our fund balance. If we have to deplete our fund balance and it goes to Piper, okay, if that's what we have to do. But we really should not be leaning on the residents anymore than we have to right now. And if we can accommodate what they're asking for their salary, their employees deserve that increase. Everybody needs an increase right now. But what happens to taxpayers is we get double hit. Our gas prices go up and our taxes go up. Taxing boards, they don't get double hit because they don't have to pay taxes. The library doesn't have to pay taxes. They're tax exempt. So when their cost goes up, it only goes up for either their employees or for them. But as residents of this county, we're getting hit twice. And it's just the timing's off. If we can meet the needs that the directors have brought us and we can dip into our fund balance a little bit, then I would really hope that we could remain revenue neutral, which still brings in more money than we need to operate on for this year. We're not going to go in the hole. We took such a big amount last year that we can absorb this year. And that's what I'm hoping that this board does.
I just want to point out for the record that our library officials have already stated many times in their reports that there are amenities or things that the charter states that Pet District is supposed to pay for that they have not been paying for, such as the employee salaries of those the library, because that is a district. according to
counties
county
and that
set
map.
up and that map they brought in to show us.
So there's things
So
that
there's things
are
that are
there
that
haven't been coming out of that
coming
savings.
out of that savings, as you're calling it, that maybe definitely needs to start happening. That money's been coming out of KCK. So when we try to open up this library in Piper, and I'm saying try because I'm not sure if that's gonna happen when you don't have enough money. That's just the bottom line. I understand you all keep saying that the savings is there and it's enough money. She just says the minimum balance to open this library in fall is 1.5, the minimum balance. So that might be where you have a staff of 2 and barely any books on the shelves. I know books are not that thing anymore, but the videos that people check out, the computer systems, technologies that are in there so people can come use the internet because they can't afford the internet. I mean, all that stuff's there. And once you set, and if we have enough to set it up, let's say that, then you don't have enough to run it next year. So it was almost pointless to do what you did. So those are the types of things that we're sitting here I'm in my head trying to listen to everything what you're saying, but I'm also sitting here thinking about what you all also want. I don't know. Thank you.
So I believe from what I read at the last budget meeting last year, the $82,000 was set aside for the Schlegel Library that's supposed to come out of the KCK Library Fund. There was in the allocations during the minutes of the meeting, it did say that KCK did set aside $82,000 or were supposed to for Schlegel Library employees.
You all are supposed to pay for all of them, and that amount only pays for 2, and there's 4 there. And I think I'm correct in that report that was stated.
Yes, that was the original amount allocated when the Ethel Schlegel was built. And that was 21 years ago. And that was for one person only, because there was only one librarian. After that, we have 4 of them now. KCK has been picking up the other 3 because every year you just allocated for the one and not for the other 3. Not one of our staff members are being paid out of WICO money. It does not pay 1 cent for KCK. It gets out of KCK budget. The only people paid are the Turner, because Turner is a WICO library. There's no money coming through us from the WICO board being spent on KCK, not 1 iota. When we are planning to build a new library downtown, not 1 of WICO's cents will be allocated for that library. It's USD 500 money. All the money that is being allocated, as Jody has explained the last time, it doesn't go through our hands. UG allocates that. We don't control that money. But there's a lot of other things that we have been given to WICO board, or shall I say the PEB district, like the what do they call it, the backyard? Our databases is over $800,000. WICO, the PEB district, enjoy that. You cannot run a library without the things that we have. If like you were suggesting, if Piper has that, Piper then has to pay for all that, over $1 million just on databases. If they want to be independent, that's the reason why they contracted with USD 500. USD 500 is kind of not controlling it. They are just making sure that the services are there for the WICO, for the PED districts. When we went into COVID, all the libraries shut down. We put in more money so that we could have our e-library being accessible for all of Wyandotte County. And that we paid money so that we can have not interlibrary loan,
um, borrowing,
Reciprocal.
reciprocal borrowing for all the metro libraries. And that means so that pet districts, Piper, Edwards, and Turner can go to other libraries for free. If we pull those zip codes back and say those people are not part of it, then obviously you won't be able to go there and get for free. Then you'll have to pay because you're outside of that zip code, because those people are paying taxes for their libraries. So, but KCK is picking up all that. We don't, initially, KCK has charged, or at least the pet districts have paid a portion of the usage of our ITs and all that. When I took, we don't pay, they don't pay a cent of that because we have to do it. So we just decided, this is Wyandotte County. We service Wyandotte County. But the money is just spent for the pet district. We don't control that. It goes to the pet district every quarter. They get a receipt of what has been spent, where it's been spent. Every quarter they get it. It's been sent to the Turner Rec and the school district, Turner School District. So my point is letting you know that there's a lot of money that we are not charging the pet district because we know, not just Piper, we knew that we need to make sure that there are more libraries. Even Wyandotte County hasn't got enough libraries. We know that the rest of Wyandotte County needs libraries. And that's the reason why slowly that money was being built, because this entity is not allowed to build libraries or make funds available for libraries. But that was the reasons we made sure that because of the overreach, make sure that we can build. It took a couple of years where we are now. It didn't happen overnight. So I'm just trying to give us to you how we have saved the pet district money in order to at least make sure that one of the biggest tax entities gets a library. And then of course, so it depends if they want to have us help with the service. We're glad, and we said even Edwardsville, if you have a building, we'll come and run a library for you, you know. But I mean, that's all we can do.
Okay, is there anybody else who wants to say anything? Anybody that's online? You see any hands raised? Okay, so we do have a motion on the floor. It's been seconded to set the mill rate at 5.44 mils. And I'll go ahead and
verify that we do have 11 right now.
We still have 11 members right now before we do a roll call vote?
Excuse me, before you call for the vote, Susan Martin just texted me and she says she is unable to be able to comment. So if we could wait a moment, please.
So she said that somebody's unable to make a comment right now, so they're asking that we wait for them to make their comment before we have a roll call vote. You see a hand raised on that?
I do not.
Did anybody here who had a comment? Okay. Mickey, can you clarify of who wanted to make the comment?
Susan Martin just texted me and says that she cannot get in to talk, but she does have a comment. I'm calling her right now to see if I can aid her some way.
I did. Oh. It just says she has to unmute herself. It won't let me do it. Which is odd.
Well, no, I'm just saying, there's a Zoom way to call in, a number that they call in, go intertwine with.
All right, thanks. If I may have your attention, I have Susan on my phone. She can't seem to get her computer to unmute.
She's
Susan,
online.
go ahead, please.
Yeah, so I've had quite a few things to say. Mostly, I think there's a lot of disinformation going on right now. It's taken me a long time to understand how everything works with the library and the mill levies and all that. But mostly, it's like there is inflation, and I understand that. But it affects us too, and the cost of building a library in Piper is going to be hit by whether it's 10% or 24%. It depends on who you're quoting. So I wanted to say that, and I also want to say I use a lot of libraries all over the city. So again, I think some disinformation there. I love our library, and I live very close to Edwardsville, but actually am on the Bonner Springs line. My kids grew up there. I still use the library. It's just part of the community. But yeah, the other thing is if I vote, I might have to do it, Nikki, because I'm having a hard time getting in. I'm down. I'm on vacation on the East Coast, so pardon my inability to participate fully. That's all.
Did everyone hear that?
Yes.
Thank you for your patience.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you were-
Would it be possible, since we know that Susan is online?
You're not unmuted. Are you unmuted?
Am I? I'd like to pose the question is, since we know that Susan is online and we've heard her speak, would it be possible for her to make comment in the chat where it comes from her and we can see it? So if we needed to.
It's recorded.
Would that count as her vote? I don't know. We have people who are very specific.
Yes, I understand that. And
Jeff, can you tell us?
if I have to step out, that's fine. I'm having a hard time, and I'm on vacation. I don't have a computer. And
She has a new iPhone. She doesn't know how it works with Zoom yet. Sorry, y'all.
no, it's
So, okay, so we're gonna take a roll call vote. If Susan can type that into the chat so we can see what she adds if she when it gets to her. Again, this motion is to set the mill rate at 5.44 mils. And we will take a roll call vote. If you're in favor of it, aye. If you're not in favor, nay. And so we will start out with.
Can I get clarification on the exact wording of the motion, please?
State the motion.
My motion was to set the mill levy at 5.444, which is revenue neutral.
I want to clarify something. Susan Martin was online, and I don't see her face now. Let's see. Susan, are you online still?
Susan is logging back in. Her phone bumped her out.
Okay.
So please be patient and I appreciate it. Susan said she cannot access chat. All she can do is see people. So I don't know what else to suggest to you folks.
Susan, can you hear us? She's still on. Susan, can you show your video, Susan, so we can see your live? There you go. So when roll call comes around, if you could nod yes or no. Okay. Thank you.
Are we ready for roll call?
We'll have witnesses.
Yes.
Okay, Greg.
Aye.
Rocky,
Aye.
Corey, Jody,
No.
Susan,
Oh, she's saying something. I don't think she was on when the vote was mentioned.
Susan, thumbs up or
Susan,
thumbs
are you
down
wanting
for
to
your
hear
vote.
the motion again? Oh, she said down.
you said no.
Are you saying thumbs down to the motion? Is your vote no on the motion? Yes. Okay.
Mickey,
No.
Erica,
Nay.
Jim,
Yes.
Judy, Melanie,
See her.
Chair, I think we lost her.
Melanie, are you online
I don't see
under a
her.
different name or? Just a second. Looks like it.
Is there someone that can possibly reach her to reestablish her connection?
No, who's speaking?
This is Mickey. I was suggesting somebody reach out to her so she can reestablish her connection.
I'm off time. A minute, my nose. Everybody in the office has heaters on.
Yeah,
If you can, she's having difficulties with the phone, she said.
Melanie,
Melanie is. So.
can she log back in? I mean,
Is there? Yeah, that's what happened with her phone, where it logged her out, so she's trying to log back in. Trying to log back in. I'll continue on with me, and I'll say I believe when as we're waiting for the last vote, that would put us at a 5-5 tie, waiting on our last person to vote.
it will say waiting to admit. I would get a message asking her to admit her, but she hasn't popped on yet.
So what happens if we?
I'm not, this is Jeff Conway, legal counsel. I'm not sure if we can reestablish a connection right now with Melanie, but perhaps if it's the pleasure of the body, if they're willing to accept maybe a call-in vote from her. I mean, we're pretty sure she attended the entire meeting, and it's just a matter of that vote. So I would say that that's probably acceptable. The body would accept that call-in vote.
Well, my question is that legal based off what we did previously, which is the same thing? And that was already brought to our attention that was a problem and that appeal charges or whatever was going to happen because we didn't follow the process.
Yeah.
This is Mickey Welcome Hill. I would concur, as my last vote was invalidated because it was a phone vote, that it not be allowed a second time.
Yes. Close to the library. If you pull in here, we lost your connection. Okay. Okay. So it's not letting her log back into it for some reason. So, no. Just 4 minutes from her house, she said. Like they logged her out, phone's messing up. Okay, so we're at a 5-5 tie and we're trying to figure out how to proceed. We cannot take a vote over the phone. We need you to log back in.
She can call in on the numbers
Oh,
that's listed in Lisa's email
if,
for this meeting, it will put her into
Hold on,
this
Ellen.
chat.
so can you call into the link that Lisa sent you for this chat? Is it the Zoom link number that she needs to call?
Yeah, there's
Like,
like.
there's several.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah,
That's what she
there's
said.
like an.
I thought you wanted to see her face.
You just see that it's her.
Okay. I would drive, just head home and drive there as quick as you can, I guess, if you're trying to, that way we can see your face, I guess. Okay, okay, all right, okay, all right. Okay, so we're still having difficulties with her logging in. We were at a 5-5 tie. If the,
Since there's 11.
if
we
there's
need
11
six.
of us, we need 6 to move it on. I don't, if somebody were to reconsider, they'd have to be from the affirmative.
From the prevailing side.
From the prevailing side.
Right now, there is really no prevailing side.
Okay.
I would appreciate it if Lisa or Joe would call the vote as far as who voted what way, because I could not hear everything.
He is asking for a announcement of the vote again, so that she could hear who voted and how.
Okay. So
Pretty please.
yes, I'm Greg Todd voted aye. Rocky Mays voted aye. Corey Hall, nay. Jody voting nay. Susan Martin, nay. Mickey Hill, nay. Erica Simpson, nay. Jim Jarsley, aye. Judy Anderson, aye. Melanie Schwarzkopf had not voted yet. We're trying to reestablish connection. And I voted aye. 5-5.
Thank you for that information. I appreciate you going over it.
You're welcome.
Where was she? Was she outside of, was she in a building somewhere or? That lost connection?
She's having a phone issue and she's trying to.
At this juncture, while we are waiting for the other person, if we are deadlocked, I would ask legal what the procedure would be.
Here, go ahead. Mickey, did you want to repeat yourself?
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
I asked if while we're waiting, legal would be kind enough to tell us if we are deadlocked, what the following process or procedure would be.
Jeff Conway, legal again. I would say that I imagine a reasonable amount of time can be given. And if she cannot reestablish connection, then we may have to say it's based on the 10-member vote, but that still requires 6 for any motion. So we may be at a standstill. We're at September 19th. We have the 30-day window in which to act if you're going to exceed the revenue neutral rate. I'm not suggesting this, but you have 1 day left. If no action is taken at all, the default position is revenue neutral rate. And I don't know if that answers your question or not, Mickey.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much, Jeff.
Was on, and she got kicked off, whereas Mickey was absent that one meeting.
Corey,
This is
different.
If there is discussion going on, I'd like to hear it, please. At this juncture, this motion has seemed to fail, and I would like to offer a new motion.
She needs a, Mickey, there you go.
I had said this motion has seemed to fail, and being so, I would like to offer a new motion.
We gotta figure out whether we got our 11th member or not. Somewhere in between.
What is a reasonable time to revive? 15 minutes?
I don't know where she is, and how close she is to.
So
I'm here.
there was a text that said, still won't let me in, ends the call when she types it in.
Somebody come get back on the dollar.
What's her number? Hang on. Oh, it's
You might ask if that's okay with the body, if that procedure, it's a little bit.
Let's see if she's within 5 minutes from being logged in. I think that's a reasonable amount of time, but.
My nose is running.
Oh, wait, there she is.
Oh, she's in. Okay, she's trying to log in.
She's in on her own. I didn't.
Okay. I did that.
Okay. Oh, Pat, can you tell? Ah, where's she? Oh, she is. Melanie, can you hear us? Or can you put your video on? There you are. Okay. We can see you, Melanie. Wait till everyone comes back, I guess. And she can.
I'm sorry. I apologize, everyone.
Okay, Melanie, the motion was to set the mill rate. I don't know if you heard it or not, or when you got logged out. The motion was to set the mill rate at 5.444 mils, which is revenue neutral. We have the roll call vote, and it is up to you on your vote. The motion was to set the mill rate at 5.44 mils, which is revenue neutral. And so if you want to accept that, vote aye. If you don't accept that, vote nay.
Aye.
Jeez. Did you hear?
Can you repeat your vote?
Oh, I'm sorry. Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, finally, we have a 6-5 vote. The motion would carry. And we are going to have legal read that into the minutes. He has copies for everybody, and we'll need to sign that afterwards.
Yeah, there's gonna be one original that has to be signed.
Okay, so we all have to sign an original copy. This will be. And then what we'll do is, we need to have this read into the motion, or we'll read this into the actual minutes. And then, what we'll do after that.
Yeah. It's more.
Anybody, one more.
Okay, so we're gonna have legal read this into the minutes.
Resolution number, I don't know, what was our numbering system, Lisa? Was it, I don't know. We can call it 3. We'll call it R. What's that?
This one?
The one I just, no, the one this is the new one. This is the not exceed.
Oh. But this never passed, right? So can you just use that number or no?
I don't know. We can skip over and keep going. So let's call it, what was that, 3?
223.
Let's do 3. Start with 3. Resolution number R323. A resolution of the Wyandotte County Library Board to not exceed the revenue neutral rate. Whereas the Wyandotte County Library Board was created pursuant to Charter Resolution number CR 0199, which was adopted by the Board of Commissioners of the Unified Government of Wyandotte County, Kansas City, Kansas on August 5th, 1999. And whereas on or before June 15, 2023, Unified Government Clerk calculated the revenue neutral rate for each taxing subdivision located in Wyandotte County and included such revenue neutral rate on the notice of the estimated assessed valuation provided to each taxing subdivision for budget purposes. And whereas the Wyandotte County Library Board notified the Unified Government Clerk by July 20th, 2023 of its proposed intent to exceed the revenue neutral rate and provided the date, time, and location of the public hearing and its proposed tax rate through the adoption of a resolution dated August 22nd, 2023. And whereas at least 10 days in advance of the public hearing, the Wyandotte County Library Board published notice of its proposed intent to exceed the revenue neutral rate by publishing notice in a weekly newspaper of the county having general circulation therein. And whereas at least 10 days in advance of the public hearing, the Wyandotte County Library Board notified each taxpayer with property in the taxing subdivision of the proposed intent to exceed the revenue neutral rate by mail directed to the taxpayer's last known address or by electronic means, if such taxpayer and the county clerk have consented in writing to service by electronic means. And such notice contained all content required pursuant to KSA 79-2988B2 and was sent by way of the consolidated notice mailed or transmitted by the county clerk pursuant to such statute. And whereas the 2024 budget proposed by the Wyandotte County Library Board will not require the levy of a property tax rate exceeding the revenue neutral rate. Now therefore be it resolved by the Wyandotte County Library Board. Section 1, the Wyandotte County Library Board hereby does not approve exceeding the revenue neutral rate and proposes a mill levy for the Wyandotte County Library Board of 5.44 mills. Section 2, the Wyandotte County Library Board authorizes and directs such other officers, agents, and employees to take such further action and execute such other documents, certificates, and instruments as be necessary or desirable to carry out and comply with the intent of this resolution. This ordinance and resolution shall take effect and be enforced immediately upon its adoption and shall remain in effect until future action is taken by the Wyandotte County Library Board. Adopted by the Wyandotte County Library Board this 19th day of September 2023. Signed, Joe Cahart, Chairperson, attestation by the Secretary. And then the last page is the roll call vote of the vote.
Okay, one of the last things we need to do is we need to determine the next location that we're gonna, not the next location, but the next day for our meeting. I believe we have a tentative date of November 14th. Does that work? November 14th of 2023 with the location to be determined. That'll be the week before Thanksgiving. So I think we want to try to early in the month of November.
You got the vote.
Yeah, can't get the library thing, the video off of this stuff here. But let's go.
I got you.
The 14th of November.
Anyway, Corey gets back in the room.
Yeah. Does the 14th of November work for you, Corey, for our next meeting?
What is this one?
Well, just a regular.
Last meeting
Last
of the year.
meeting of the year. And we will probably be discussing the allocations of these funds.
You said November 14th.
To be determined.
November, no, that's December, November 14th, okay. Yes, that's fine.
Is everybody good with November 14th? Okay.
I would like
Consider a motion to adjourn.
Before we adjourn,
Moment, please.
I'd like to ask if we are going to do the exact allocations like we normally do today.
And I need to make sure that my fellow board members are aware that I will be attending these meetings through Zoom, as I am usually on campus at
Can you hear what she said?
UMC during this time frame.
Mickey, can you repeat yourself, please?
I just want to make sure that the board members know that I will be on Zoom for all subsequent meetings. I am usually on campus, either in class or working at this time frame at UMKC.
Thank you.
Okay. So your question was, will we be doing allocations right now?
yeah, we normally do both documents during this meeting.
So we have not received any information from the directors as far as if it's the circulation figures, and I was hoping to check with the directors to see if we could get the current circulation figures so we can make sure that the allocations of funds is still up to date and appropriate, or if there needs to be any adjustments made before we, as a board, decide the allocations. Bylaws. Says that we vote annually on the budget and the allocation of the funds, and that the board may amend the allocations at any time. I don't think it's fair that we amend allocations once they're given. And so I was hoping as a board, we can do our due diligence and make sure that the allocations are being divided appropriately. And so that would hopefully give us some time if we could get
So what are the criteria then that are being used? Just book checkout circulation? What are you talking about?
So if there's just the circulation figures, if we get circulation figures, we should discuss it as a board and make sure, let them speak to us and see if they feel like they're getting the allocations that they receive, that they feel like they should be receiving, or if we need to make any adjustments.
You mean Turner, Bonner, Edwardsville, those two?
No, KCK, the 80% going to KCK, the 7.5 to Bonner, and the 12.5 to Turner. Most likely it's going to stay the same, but if there's any changes, we need to know that. We need to adjust to it.
And we need to talk about the reserve for a possible Piper library, how that fits in and how much we hold back, how much we allocate.
Absolutely, and I believe that this meeting's gone long enough, and that will give us some, hopefully we'll have information, and we'll some things will be presented to us at the November meeting where we can have a discussion about what those numbers will be.
I was just wondering when you were going to share that with us because you were about to adjourn. Thank you.
Yep. Is there any other questions?
I did want to know what the criteria were. Are you guys involved with the criteria that?
Circulation's all you said, right?
So, yeah, so if there's any numbers that.
There's a lot of numbers.
If there's any numbers that would be helpful, as far as the circulation numbers, if there's any other numbers, if we find out more about the Piper Library, if there's allocations we want to set aside for that. Is there any specific numbers anybody wants besides to check out the usage? Is there anything that you want the directors to specifically give us?
Well, there's a lot more than just circulation numbers that have an impact. How can they give us, usage as far as
Right. It's just like a Florida playbook. And it's things that we reference this Florida. It's like the demographics are different. It's not Florida. Like the Asian population.
Would be the three directors get together and say they should hopefully bring some numbers, justifications, however they want to see it, speak together, work together, come to the board and say, yes, we like this percentage where it's at, or we might need to make. That would be, I believe, the most appropriate way to proceed with the allocations if you, the professionals that are in that,
Florida. It's just like
that have the money that is
They're
coming
just
to your
so much
libraries, if that's
matters.
what's sufficient for each board, or is
I'm
more
gonna be
potentially need to go to Bonner, do we need
I'm
to
gonna care.
these allocations?
It really affects Piper.
Right. I know it's not an exact science. Well, if that's the case.
I'm not really sure what number of people.
Okay.
Hello?
Do we need to do that?
We would have to approve it in November. If that's what the percentage is gonna be.
We're not bound by that, but we do listen to them all the time.
Yeah.
Because they're the professionals and throw in everything you think is important.
So
That's all.
my hopes of that is to,
People, especially after COVID, we don't have the people coming in like we used to, like people starting now. But the online is really, our Hoopla, I mean, those other things that, take advantage.
so with that and the potential of a Piper library, if there needs to be something adjusted that they would recommend, that's the time that I would hope that we could make those adjustments, if any.
Can you finish your statement that you were going to say, your hopes is what?
That we can come up with a solution for the allocations.
And then next year, I think it's according to the superintendent, it's 2024, 2025. So just saying that. Is sooner rather than later, because I would prefer to meet in October.
The libraries are entitled to have as much advance notice as we can give them. Because that's what they base their next year on.
So we're gonna change the meeting date to October or November? Keep it.
How long do you think it would take how long do you think it'd take to have an idea of the allocations that you would be percentages or however these funds would be divided? I imagine it's gonna be pretty close to the numbers that are here. The last time I saw an update was, I believe, 2021, and the numbers probably aren't a whole lot different. That's the last I saw when the allocations, I think when there were some studies done.
No problem, we can look at anything and everything, I don't think it would take long.
I just,
When did you want to do it?
okay.
What's the November the 12th?
November the 14th.
14th, sorry, 14th.
November the 14th.
Tuesday. What is that, South London?
Think so.
Yeah, usually South. South London.
Yes, 4 p.m.
Yeah.
I would consider a motion to adjourn. Yeah. The original copy.
I will make the motion to adjourn.
We got a motion and a second to adjourn. All
Seconded.
We have a motion by Rocky to adjourn and second by Jim. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, we're adjourned. Please sign your.
Actually, they don't have to sign it. It's the roll call vote.